to Toffee TV, it's the match preview. Sunderland at Goodison Park, it's back. Thank you. Football, no football, it's just, you gotta like do things, haven't you? You gotta like sit at home and like think of things to do.
I get told what to do.
Well, I didn't want to go there, Baz, but you know, it's just. But we're back anyway. We're back. We got to go to Goodison Park on Monday for the under-23s game, which was great. But we're back for this weekend, and yeah, for me, it's got to be 3 points. It's got to be, dare I say, a comfortable game for me. I think personally that this is a game that we've got to go out there, puff our chest out, show them who we are, and get the 3 points quite comfortably.
Yeah, three points is an absolute necessary after Middlesbrough. It was quite depressing. Overall, this is one that, you know, we're at home,
yeah,
and we need to win a game. You know, we dropped points, if you want to look at it like that, although I don't, like I said at the time, didn't think we deserved to win. But if you look at, if you're trying to, you know, stay in touch with that top six and the gap is there again, these are the games you've got to win, you know, and these will come and try and be defensively tight, but it's a game we've got to go out and, like you say, prove what we are and who we are. Yeah,
you can, because you can almost say, well, alright, the Middlesbrough game was a one-off. It wasn't as bad as, it wasn't that bad. I mean, people took chances, we would have won the game. But they didn't. But then you say, well, you win your home games and, you know, pick up points away from home, then you're doing alright. But this is a game that, you know, we've had a couple of weeks off. We've come off the back of the Middlesbrough game. We've had, you know, Bournemouth 3 points, Man City 3 points. Trying to think before we played Southampton and Palace. You know, we've been getting wins at home, and we just got to keep that going. And against a fragile, let's be honest, fragile Sunderland team, we've been away in Dubai, training hard, playing hard, on and off the pitch, and they, you know, they've been over in New York, and that's fine. They've gone for a jolly on the Isle. I'm sure they've come back and have trained hard. But we've got to jump on the frailties, haven't we? Because, you know, a few weeks ago they go to Palace, beat them 4-0, and then the last game they played, they get beat at home by Southampton 3-0 and 4-0, and you're thinking, the fragile, aren't they? The fragile. You don't know what's going to turn up, but you know that if you have a good go at them, that we should turn them over.
The first goal, as it is with so many Premier League games, you know, you get in front, these go behind on Saturday, especially in the opening 15-20 minutes. Players start looking around thinking, here we go again. We've been there, but, well, 12 months ago, every time we went behind at home, it was like, here we go again. And that's what happens with teams with no confidence. These are here for us to take the cleaners. We took them the cleaners up at their place, didn't we? It's there again. However, I think they'll come and try and be nice and compact. We know what Moyes does very well, and it's up to us to break them down. They carry a threat, Jermaine Defoe, with our two centre backs. You know, he could have a field there. But listen, on paper, they've got 3 or 4 of our players who couldn't get in our side or squad. So you look at Everton, and you look at Sunderland, and you can only see a home win. But how many times have we sat? We sat here and gone, we should beat them, and we haven't. So
no, it's not.
It's the first goal.
That's it. And again, don't like, it's not arrogance. And this is not coming from this from any kind of arrogance. It's more of a point of that, and it's the point I was trying to get over about the Middlesbrough game is that if we expect or we want to be challenging for those places, you know, we've got to be turning over these teams now. You've got to find a way to beat them. They will come. They'll make themselves nice and compact. They'll try and hit us on the break, try and get decent set pieces in. Jermaine Defoe, as you said, is a really big threat when he gets a chance. You know, he needs, one of plays, he needs half a yard, and he can you know, fantastic striker of a ball. As I say, I'd have him at Everton now. I don't understand why more clubs didn't go for him in January. I don't think they would ever have sold him. No, I know, yeah, but it's West Ham, isn't it? But I do think that they're going to come. They're going to be compact. That might mean we have to be a little bit. Well, it's all right saying we have to be patient, but on the flip side, I think the team needs to start fast, and we need to go out there and be like, you know,
you don't want, the worst thing you can do in these kind of games is let the opposition settle.
Yeah.
You let them settle into what they're doing and slow the game down. I remember they came down a few years ago when they were at, near the bottom, and it was in May. I think the first week in May they were poor, and they beat us 2-0.
Martinez's second season,
you know,
wasn't it?
You know, they come and done us 2-0, and Defoe that day and deflection, and he took us out of the goal well. And we started that game quite slowly, missed a few chances, and everyone was like, I'll be alright in a bit, we'll get one in a bit. And then they get the first goal, and then all of a sudden you're uneasy.
They've got the tails up. And
he done it, you know, Martinez's first season when we played them, did they beat us 1-0 at home? We absolutely battered them, and they, you know, Howard got sent off and we still battered them, and they won 1-0.
That's when we were all drinking the Kool-Aid though. That was when
oh yeah, that was
Martin said they'd rather get beat 1-0 like that than, and we'd all like, yeah, that's what, of course we would. Yes.
Results don't matter.
Don't matter.
Performances.
Yeah.
But you know, this time, you know, last year they came down to Goodison. We went 2-0 up early on. We were in total control. We started arsing about. They got it back to 2-2 very quickly, and then we stepped up and took the game away
and
from
still
them.
Asked about for the last half an hour. We could have got 10.
Yeah,
could have got 10.
But so you know, we've got to start on the front foot. We've got to get the crowd up, and you've got to make them feel like they're having to hang on. If you let teams who are trying to keep it tight come and just settle everyone down and slow the game down to their pace, what they want to play it at, it's hard to pick your rhythm back up.
It's going to be a weird one, isn't it? Because it's going to be almost completely different from the Bournemouth game. Bournemouth, good football, possession team, terrible at the back, can score goals. These will be completely different. These will be these will have been working on shape, won't they, for the last 2 weeks, literally. Shit, just
still awful at the back.
No, I know, but that's what they'll have been working on. A shape, keep the shape. You know, keep the shape, keep it solid, keep working. But we've got to make sure we're on our game. But you know, these are going to have, like you said, Oviedo's going to be back, Gibson, Lescott, Pienaar, Rodwell. They've got players that.
And needs to be bumped. He's out.
No, he's out. But certainly, the likes of Oviedo, you know, Oviedo have a point to prove only. He'll have a point to prove. But he's he's not only a left back, but he'll have a point to prove, and that's fair enough. You'd like to think someone like Gibson, that as much as we enjoyed Gibson and what he was, the reason why he never got near the team this season was because his level of fitness was nowhere near what our manager expects. So that should mean that our midfielders should be able to get around them and you know, get the ball off him.
If the manager plays the lads who've got the energy in the middle of that park, we should have no problems with Rodwell and Gibson and whoever else they put in there. You know, and that's the simple reality of it, isn't it? Tom Davies, Ross Barkley are on their game, Lukaku's on his game, you know, Schneiderlin and Garner should eat that midfield up all day long, Coleman and Baines raiding. You know, it's not going to be anything we don't know. Coleman will have gone up against Oviedo every day for the last 3, 4, 5 years, whatever it was. So there's not going to be anything unexpected about it. You know, so we just got to stretch them. The biggest thing for me is that we don't isolate Lukaku. If we start that where the game gets dragged down to that slow level and then Rom's on his own and we're not, the way to beat these being compact is quick football, and you play nice and quick football like we did against Bournemouth in and around their penalty area. We'll score the goals to win the game, and that's what we've got to do. We've had that disappointment that we didn't win the game, you know, the Middlesbrough game. The performance was lower than what it has been. That's the best way to put it. So you follow that up with a home win, and then you go, right, decent points of butter. We've won back at home. Go to Spurs next week, which is
well, there's two tough games coming up, Spurs and West Brom. An interesting thing, I think, number one, this week, Man United are playing in the League Cup final. Hopefully, I have no issue saying this. Hopefully, they win.
Yeah.
And you know, if we can win, that means, you know, okay, they'll have a game in hand, but we can get 3 points on them. Close the gap a little bit. They'll have a game in hand, but they've got to win it. It's interesting because last week the FA Cup, obviously we weren't involved, but it couldn't really have gone any better for us from a Europa League point of view. 5 of the top 6 are still in the competition. There's a possibility. Well, the draw was perfect. the semi-finalists could all be top 6 basically teams. If Man United win the cup and that happens, by the time we get to the West Brom game, if we beat West Brom that weekend, then we'll start to see what's happening. We'll know that 7th is the Europa League position, and we can start focusing on that then, and pushing and pushing and pushing. And that's why this game's, again, we talk about it every week how vital games are, but with tough games coming, we have to be in that position to capitalise on that, because even if all these things fall in, we've got to take advantage of that. You know, if it goes to 7th place, and I know some people are like, well, I don't want Europa League. Well, I do want Europa League for 2 points of view. It's great, day out and all that, but it's another competition that we need to take seriously.
It's a Champions League place, which arguably may be easier to win than finishing 4th in our league.
Yeah, you're right, and I've said this before, and I've also said this before. You can keep players happier if you've got more tournaments to play in. I mean, at the moment we're all going, oh, isn't it great? We've got this player and that player in centre midfield and all that. It's hard to keep players happy when there aren't the games. If you've got another tournament, if you are playing Thursday, Sunday, and you do actually have a different centre midfield for a Thursday and a Sunday, and you're not really dropping the quality, then that's perfect, and that's what we want. That's how I think. That's how we will get the squad better in the short term, is having the Europa League to, not only so we can go, well, we're in Europe, it's a good stepping stone, might help attract players, might help keep players, but also it just says to players, well, there will be chances to play. So I think we're obviously coming into that really the big part of the season now. I know it's going to stop and start a little bit because the internationals are going to come back, but this is the time now where we've really got to start making sure that games like this are won. And that's not through arrogance, that's through you find a way to win the game.
Yeah, you know, the Europa League is important. It's important when you're going to try and sign players, like you say. It's important when you're trying to keep players in terms of games, and it's important in what Mashiri's trying to do, which is brand build. You know, you want to spread your name as far and wide as you can, and the Europa League, it is getting better. The prize money's improved a bit. It's not massive, it's not Champions League level, but it's gone up a bit. And like you say, there's the Champions League place. You know, Spurs are in it this week, and United, I'd love Everton to be playing this week in the last, whatever it is, 16 or whatever of the Europa League, because it's a trophy, you know. And it's like you said to you, I firmly believe the top 7 will be powerful teams, because I feel as though we're going to spend more money, and therefore any 4 of those top 7 can take them top 4 places. That's how I honestly believe it will go, and therefore tournaments become, like the Europa League, become more important. It might be easier to finish 7th and win the Europa League, 6th and win the Europa League, than to finish 3rd in our league. And people might look and go, yeah, but I'd rather finish higher up. Yeah, but at the end of the day, the prize is still the same. I also think, I know I'm slightly going away from this game, but I also think that as a league, I think we're going to start taking the Europa League a little bit more seriously, because I think you exactly from what you've just been saying there, the league is going to become, we've had the 4 and we've had 5, and if we do generally join the party and we do make it 7, then you're gonna, and I know we've got our blue tinted glasses on here, but everything's pointing in that's where the direction we want to go, and we're buying players and we're planning for that, and you know, stadiums and stuff. So it's going to become 7 into 4. You know, you're gonna. There's a couple of big teams are going to miss out on Champions League this season, because obviously Spurs are now in the pot, and the way it's all gone. So those teams are going to have to look at their other avenues. Europa League is another avenue to get into the Champions League and to win a trophy. And I think we're going to start I think as a nation, where we've dismissed it in the past, I think we'll start taking it a little bit more seriously. And I want us to be on board on that. And I know it always seems like a long tournament, but you just say, well, I'll just take it a game at a time. I mean, Mourinho did it really well actually in the group stages. He took it seriously, but he didn't go mad. He knew that, well, we'll win there,
and we'll win there. Right, we'll get beat there, and I'll put a. You know what I mean? I think Mourinho's really good at planning long seasons, and I think what has done us in the past is like throwing everything into group stages and getting through those group stages, and then when we've come to the qualifiers, we've been a little bit burnt out by the season. Do you know what I mean? We've always qualified really well, haven't we? And when look at the last time we were in it, we were pissing it, and then we come up against one half decent team and bang, we're out the tournament. And I think we'll start taking it seriously, and it's just for me, it's just really important that we're in it, and as I say, taking it back to this game. That's why these games are so important, so important, that you get your win, you get your 3 points, and you move on to the next one, which is, you know, Spurs.
Yeah, back to the Europa League.
Go on, I don't mind.
No, I think the two things, I always believe you should just win your first 4 games, and then your last 2 are dead rubbers, and you can play.
But that's what I'm saying, that's fine, isn't it?
Anthony Robinson,
that's fine, isn't it?
And people like that. But the second thing, the other reason why I think it dropped off is because financially we're not able to have the same quality on the bench as what we've had
I think there's another reason as well.
The team, and I think that will change as we go forward. You're already seeing it with the centre midfield area. The 6, I can name you 6 who wouldn't really bother me if they started. You'd go, yeah, it's sound. You might look and go, Gareth Barry, it's only because of his age now and his legs are getting a bit slower. But if you started a Europa League game with James McCarthy and Mo Bezic with Tom Day, you'd be going, midfield sound, Schneiderlin, Garner, Barkley sound, Liam Walsh sound. But
also we were at the under-23 teams the other night, and there's 4 or 5 there
easily
that could benefit from that tournament next season. Not like all at once, but yeah, I'll play the young left back instead of Baines. I'll give Darl a go.
If you put 3 in with a first teams, benefit. Don't do Krasnodar.
No. But I say the other thing. What we need the other thing is. It's also 2 different tournaments. And we're still talking about Sunderland, by the way. It's 2 different tournaments, isn't it? It's like it's a group stage and it's a knockout stage, and we haven't quite perfected the old knockout stage yet. So so that's something. 2-legged affairs. That's something that
only comes with experience, though.
And that's really important because if you want to build towards Champions League, what you find as well, group stages. Teams piss group stages. They're used to playing one-off games in a league format. It's not a problem when it comes to two. It's why Benitez has always got work in Europe, because he was really, really good at Liverpool at winning 2-legged games. He's really good at it. So that's why these games are really important. Throwing it back to the Sunderland game.
No, but it is, isn't it? Because that's what we're pointing. If we're on a journey and all that, that's what it's pointing towards. There's no.
What a quest.
It's what you're doing, aren't you? It's like Sunderland. If they're in a mini league with the people down the bottom, so they're looking and going, we need to win this game. They'll be looking at the fixture list and going, that is a must win. That home game against, I don't know whether he played Burnley or someone at home, but Burnley at home is a must win. We're going to Crystal Palace was a must win for them and they won it. Alright, Southampton so they look at it, and we're looking at these higher up the league and saying, right, Sunderland at home has got to be a win.
And also from the flip side of that, it's got to be a win anyway, because, and I go back to the point, if Manchester United were to get beat at the weekend, which could happen, it could happen, then suddenly we're looking at 6th place, and suddenly it's all looking a little bit, suddenly the league looks a little bit different, doesn't it? We're like, can we get to 6th place, and that's why, anyway, don't we? But that's what I'm saying, that's why this 3 points is vital, because you look at this game and you go, well, we're 3 points closer to Man United. Whereas any other result, the Man United will be like, we've had the weekend.
And you've also got Spurs away next week. So this week, we make sure we get the 3. We need to get the 3 points. Keeps West Brom at bay. We go to Tottenham a week later. I think if people are looking at it, they'll probably favour Spurs. They'll probably say, expect Tottenham to beat Everton at home. West Brom win that weekend, and all of a sudden you're looking at you could be 8th. So it's about winning the games you're in control of, and where we should be in control of this game. But like I say, the first goal is key. But I expect us to win.
Yeah, I do, and that's not arrogance. I just expect us to win. I think we've got better players. We're playing at home,
and we're playing well.
And we are playing pretty well at home as well. So I do expect us to win. It will be interesting to see what if he makes changes, to the formation. But we'll get into that on the Starting 11 show, because that's what we do. So So make sure you check us out on the starting 11, where we'll be talking a little bit more about formations and players. Thanks for watching Toffee TV. Don't forget, tell us in the comments what you think. Also, keep your eyes open for a big announcement we've got coming up. If you're a regular viewer, you might want to catch that announcement for the next stage of Toffee TV going forward. Our very own chase to the Champions League, sort of, for us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later.